Hey there folks, and welcome to this video. Here we're going to be trying out some new stuff in WRC 10. Belgium. Renties Ypres Rally. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this new set of stages come up. And I think what we'll do is try the long one. Zonnebeck. And I think there's only really one car that we can use here. It's got to be Thierry, hasn't it? Hometown hero who seems to be the best driver at the moment on tarmac. Let's have a look at this. Let's try out the new content in WRC 10. I'm looking forward to seeing how this feels. Especially how it looks. Because this is the first time that a rally game will have a stage from Ypres in it. Like, even in RBR, they usually use, like, the Condros rally. I like this. They've got a lot of World War I cemeteries in there. Castle as well. And Lube is going to be the first one to the stage. Or the one before us into the stage, because I think we're technically the last one. But I can tell you what, I like the look of this already. So let's get the seat into race mode. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Square right 30 and square left small cut 80. Square left small cut 80. Square right into flat right and left 3. I'm surprised at how intensive this is on my graphics card, because you can see some frame drops, but then it's new, so it might not be fully optimized for my setup yet. Oh no, that was a bin. No worries, keep going. Into square right, don't cut 30. Right 3, medium, tightens. And what I like about this is just the way it's designed. Like, when we talk about the WRC games, we don't talk about realistic stages unless we're talking about a super special. Essentially, the developers, so Carleton, Nacon, the publisher, their philosophy is make it a good stage rather than a realistic stage. Like, in terms of how competitive it'll be. And it certainly meets that brief. Like, you could use these curbs a little bit if you wanted, but at the same time, there are bits which it invites you to cut, bits which it doesn't. And I like that. Right 6 into right 5, tightens. Nice philosophy to have. Caution, hard brake, square right through gate 300. Especially because, like, it feels like a lot of Belgian rally stages. Bits of it from Ypres, a bit of it like Ypres this year or Ypres in previous years. But I don't think there were many stages that went around by the cemetery, because that's usually stages like Langemark. I don't think Langemark. I think it was a shakedown this year rather than an actual stage. That's a classic Ypres stage. But the way they designed it here, like, they've made it sort of its own kind of tarmac rally. There are bits of it which borrow a lot of elements from Germany. Like, you can tell with things like the hay bales, but it doesn't seem out of place. So here we've got the Great War Cemetery now. Left, right 4 and square left 80. But right 4 cut. It feels like it makes a lot of sense. Like, this feels a lot like what you'd expect from Belgian rallying. You've got the big cuts and it allows you to do it. It probably to do with a reset to track there, but one of the big things about Ypres is that they don't mind you actually cutting the corners. Like, they deliberately this season didn't use anti-cut devices. Left 5, hard brake into hairpin left, don't cut. Into square right 250. That could be a cool action shot there. Left 5 medium. Left 5 medium, tightens 30. Right, I'm pretty sure this is the long stage, and Oh no, tree. Got suspension damage now. What I was going to say is it doesn't feel particularly long as a stage. Like we're about halfway in at 3 minutes. Like it's really nicely made, but at the same time, it doesn't offer much variety in terms of the stage, like compared to. Actually, something that's very much the case here in WRC 10. Because in WRC 9 we got some free DLC that was like extra stages for Portugal and Finland. But what they did is they only kept those ones in for 10 and got rid of the old ones, which is a shame because I liked the old stages, especially in Finland and WRC 9. And the old ones are in Portugal I liked as well, but the thing was they were stages that had been in since WRC 5. And there are still some stages which are in this game which have been around since around that time. But it's nice to see them showing where they've improved in things like stage design over time. And I think a good example to look at that is here. Belgium's a good example, San Remo is a brilliant example. New stages of the game which they didn't have to make. But as a developer, this lot here, Kyloton, or KT Racing as they call themselves, they're really good at the aftercare elements. Like, last season they sadly didn't add Estonia, but so they brought Estonia in for this game because, well, it ends up being on the WRC calendar again this year. But when they saw that Ypres was going to be added again, and when they saw that Greece was going to be added, they added them. I won't be disappointed if they don't add Monza. It'd be a shame if they don't, but at the end of the day, it's a lot like Monte Carlo. Plus, we still got other rallies like Wales and Japan. Whoops.
And right 3, tightens, medium. And left 2 into right 2.
And F1's taken a step up to match WRC this year, you know? Adding in Saudi Arabia. Well, I mean, that was one that we already knew was going to be on the calendar, but adding in Imola and Portimao.
It's a flat right, 50. Square right, small cut. Into right 3, 100.
Just be cool if they also added Istanbul and Marseille.
Left 4, short. And left 5 and right 5, medium. Caution, hard brake, into square right, 100.
Yeah, we've got one more year of Kyloton making these games before it goes over to Codemasters, actually. And this is a good gauntlet to throw down.
Flat left into right 6, small cut, 50.
There's still ways in which, like physics-wise, you could make it more realistic if you wanted to, with the WRC franchise.
4, medium, tightens. And right 4 into kinks, cut.
Like, whoops.
Not there.
Ah, it reset me this time. In particular, the springs of the steering just feel very soft.
Flat left into right 3.
That's the same on gravel and tarmac, but it's a lot more distinct, the difference between the surfaces in this game. As I've just got off again. See if I pick up stage win for this one, I highly doubt it. But overall, yeah. It's very graphically intensive as a stage, borrows lots of elements from Germany stages of the past, but I like it. I like the way they've done it. It's a lot of fun. It's very enjoyable. It looks good. And more importantly, also looks the part for not only Ypres, but Belgian rallying. Car's a sorry state, but it's not comparing me against AI. I'm what, a minute off? Let's see if I can set that up in the future, but for now, thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye. Well, for now.